Hello and welcome back, or welcome. This is your first time on my channel. In today's video, I will dive into the evolutionary astrology and I will talk about the skipped steps, so the unresolved issues, dilemmas, conflict situations from the karmic past that carried over into this incarnation, and they will carry on until they are resolved. So stay tuned and let's begin. Right, so what are skipped steps? So as I've already briefly mentioned, these are the unresolved issues from the karmic past. So this could be as a result of a conflict, of trauma. It's often connected to trauma, to guilt. And until we face them and resolve them, they will carry on to haunt us into the next incarnation. So the best way to get rid of them is to face them and resolve them. But how can you identify them? So first of all, these are the skipped steps are the planets that square the nodal axis. So the north and the south node. So the north node and the south node are always in opposition. And if you have any planets that square the nodal axis, these will be the skipped steps from the prior life. In order for you to identify which node will serve as a foundation basis for you to resolve the skipped steps, you look at the node that last formed a conjunction with the planet squaring the nodes. However, there's also another technique that you can use. If you imagine yourself standing on the top of the planet squaring the nodes, and the node that is to your left, this will be the node that will serve as this basis for you to resolve these issues, dilemmas concerning the planet squaring the nodes. In the scenario when you've got two planets opposing each other in your birth chart and they both square the nodal axis, here again you use the same technique. And if each of the nodes individually connected to each planet, then in this case, both nodes are involved and both nodes are being developed simultaneously. Now, when it comes to the orbs, you are probably wondering what type of orb you should be using for this type of analysis. So the recommended orb by Jeffrey Wolf Green, the founder of the evolutionary astrology, is 10 degrees orb for the squares. Now, if you have a planet that is outside of this orb, but still close to squaring the nodal axis, then this suggests that your soul has already dealt in the prior life with the dilemmas connected to the planet squaring the nodes. And if this planet is separating from the south node and applying to the north node, then these dilemmas are almost resolved. They are coming to resolution. However, if the planet is separating from the north node and applying to the south node, then you should be maybe paying attention, because you might recreate the behavioral patterns or the attitudes connected to the planet squaring the nodes. Now let's talk about the rulers of the nodes, because these are so important when trying to better understand the skipped steps. So here the south node ruler and its placement by house and by sign, its aspects it makes to other planets, it will give you a hint of what led to the creation of that skipped step. While the north node ruler and its placement by house, by sign in the chart, and the aspects it makes to other planets, this will tell you about where is it that you're supposed to be heading, what is it that you're supposed to be doing in order to embrace your north node qualities, in order to move forward in your evolutionary journey. Because if we don't resolve these skipped steps, we won't be able to move forward. We will be stuck, because this will be kind of hanging in the air. It's like a fork in the road, as often described in many textbooks. All right, so let's look at some of the examples of the planets squaring the nodal axis, and we will start from the sun. So with the sun squaring the moon's nodes, this is connected to prior life loss of identity. So that identity wasn't fully developed, or it was crushed in some way as a result of trauma, conflict, guilt. So the goal in this lifetime is to restore that sense of individuality, create a personal vision, personal ideals, goals for yourself. And this is often done in isolation, or perhaps you might find that others disagree with your ideas, your decisions. So finding your own individuality and without being externally influenced by others. Now with the moon, so here emotions, feelings come into focus. So this is about loss of emotional safety, security. There could be some karma connected to the female or a mother figure as well. So the goal in this lifetime is to restore that sense of inner safety, inner emotional safety, inner emotional security as well, developing harmonious relationship with family as well, building this home foundation, secure base, home base, domestic base as well. Now with Mercury, this is about the unresolved issues concerning mental ability, communication, inability to trust another. So in this lifetime, it's important to restore the trust in others, but also develop good communication skills and find the inner voice. So be confident, a confident communicator. Now with Venus, so Venus, this is about unresolved issues concerning personal relationships, love, marriage, close bond with another. This could be also connected to a loss of identity as a result of codependency or too much of codependency. So here in this lifetime, it's important to restore this self of identity without relying too much on another, as well as learning to cooperate with another in a harmonious manner and learning to build these harmonious relationships with others as well. Now Mars, so Mars is connected to drive, inner courage. So there could be unresolved issues concerning self-motivation or inability to motivate oneself. There could be unresolved issues concerning impulsiveness, some really dynamic energies, anger issues, and sexual energy also come into focus. So in this lifetime, it's important to restore that inner drive, inner courage, inner confidence, self-confidence as well. People with this aspect will also benefit from physical activity or self-defense in order to rebuild this self-confidence and release the excess of any dynamic or impulsive energy there might be. All right, so let's look at Jupiter, the planet connected to abundance, good fortune, luck. When Jupiter squares the nodal axis, this is about some unresolved issues, dilemmas from the karmic past, connected to your beliefs, your wisdom, higher learning. So here with this placement, there is often a need, inner desire to accomplish something that will help you to be recognized in some way. And you might have to take risks in order to achieve that. Now, this placement is also connected to creating your own principles to live by, your own life philosophy. Saturn, so when Saturn squares the nodal axis, this is about some unresolved issues concerning lack of responsibility, or perhaps father figure or authority figure comes into focus as well. So in this lifetime, it's really important to lead a life when you are responsible for your own actions, for your own life, where you are consistent. Maturity comes into focus as well, without taking any shortcuts, without cheating. Now with Uranus, so Uranus in evolutionary astrology is connected to trauma. So its placement by house and by sign in your birth chart can tell you about what trauma you experienced in the karmic past. And when Uranus is squaring the nodal axis, this is about the liberation from these wounds. So the soul wants to liberate itself from the karmic wounds and traumas. And this is connected to blockages that stood in your way in the prior life and made it difficult for you to express yourself or to be independent. So in this lifetime, this skipped step is about finding your own individuality, for being independent, free, and free from any external influences as well. Now with Neptune, so when Neptune squares the nodal axis, this is connected to a loss of sense of meaning of life in the karmic past, inability to accomplish, fulfill your dreams, your goals, your ideals, inability to create, form healthy relationships with others. Perhaps the dreams and goals were fulfilled in your imagination, but not in reality. So in this lifetime, it's really important to find a sense of meaning, learn about your life mission, your life path, create goals, meaningful goals for yourself, realistic goals that you can achieve, accomplish, create, form healthy relationships with another. Now, when Pluto squares the nodal axis, Pluto is connected to transformation, deep trauma. So oftentimes the incarnated soul with this placement is in a need of soul recovery, recovery of its own identity, its own individuality as well. Power struggles come into focus, manipulation as well. So here, people with this square will really benefit from meditation, connecting to spirituality, learning about themselves, discovering their strengths, their weaknesses. Past life regression could also be really beneficial. All right, so we reached the last planet. I just gave you some examples of what each planet squaring the nodal axis could mean for you on a personal level. And as we have learned, the skipped steps are the results of the decisions, the conflicts, the traumas that we experienced in the prior life or even prior lives. And in order to resolve them, we need to change our behavior or our attitude, or perhaps even our beliefs. Now, how to know if the skipped step has been resolved? So when the skipped step is resolved, the soul will no longer create circumstances, situations, or bring people into our life that recreate or reflect what those skipped steps are about. However, if such circumstances, situations, or people continue to reappear, then this means that the skipped steps have not been fully or at all resolved yet. How to prevent a future skipped step creation, on the other hand. So if you see that whatever you are doing might potentially create a future skipped step, take action, don't wait. Change the behavior, the attitude that you may have developed, as this can help you to move away from these behavioral patterns or attitudes that could potentially contribute to the creation of a future skipped step. And this is what I've got for you about the skipped steps for today. This is the introduction into the skipped steps in the evolutionary astrology. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more, I'm happy to make another video about the skipped steps. If you enjoy evolutionary and past life astrology, I'm also happy to carry on in the near future. So let me know in the comments down below. Right, so on this note, I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a pleasant day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.